Good morning, my chicky monkeys and my peeps and anybody else out there in the cyberverse. It is time for another little known facts from Stewart's Almanac. This is going to be a little story time with Uncle Mongrel. Read a couple of definitions first and foremost, okay? This is the one I promised you, the Doppleganger. Definition of a Doppleganger: an apparition or a double of a living person. And then you have the Doppelganger effect, an autoscopic phenomenon where a person hallucinates that they are actually seeing and interacting with another me. Well, believe it or not, sometimes reality mixes those two, and I will give you my story. Now, a lot of you know, some of you don't, but there was a period of my life that was dark. I was a rabble-rouser. I ran bars. I drank. I did drugs. I was not a very nice person at all. I had kind of a dark heart, Didn't want to be bothered with anybody. Just wanted to do my own thing, right? Well, about 3.5 years during this period, I lived in New Braunfels, and I ran about 6 bars on normal with my route that I ran. And right in the middle of this period, there was about 2 weeks where perfect strangers were coming up to me and saying, "Hey, Ox, how's it going?" I'm looking at them like, "The fuck is Ox? I'm Mongrel." By the way, back then I only went by Mongrel, not Uncle Mongrel. Uncle Mongrel's fun. You want to be with him. Mongrel, he was an asshole. Anywho, so this happened for like 2 solid straight weeks. People come up and asking me, "Hey, Ox, how's it going?" I'm like, "I'm not Ox. Who in the hell is this jackass?" Right? Well, one night, I'm sitting in Austin Street Live, in this little bar in Seguin, and I'm sitting there at the bar, and normally I like to sit at the bar because they have the mirrors and I can watch the rest of the bar behind me. Situational awareness, always know what's going on around you. This one didn't have it, but I'd been drinking for a while and I didn't care, and I liked the waitress at the time, so I was sitting at the bar. And somebody walks up behind me. I just feel this presence behind me, right? And I hear in a rough voice, kind of like mine, and said, "You must be Mongrel." And without missing a beat, I was just like, "You must be Ox." And I turned around, and I'll be a son of a bitch if I wasn't staring into a mirror. Wow. And sometimes when you stare into the abyss stares back. Yeah, so we begin to sit there and drink and tell stories, and sure enough, the same 2-3 weeks, people have been coming up to him saying, "Hey, how's it going, Mongrel?" And he's like, "Who the fuck is Mongrel?" It was funny at first. We drank, we had a good time, we started hanging out for a while. It was about 4 months there we hung out. And one of these times we was hanging out and we got to talking about our past and everything like that. And I found out his birthday, and I was like, "Bullshit." I was like, "No, serious." I said, "Let me see your driver's license." He pulls out his driver's license. I'll be a son of a butt, bitch. March 11th, 1971. He was born on the same day I was. I was born, I believe, in the morning. He was born at night. A little different, a little yin and yang, okay? Well, as I said, I drank, did a lot of other things, and not good. He was doing those as well. So we merged our party lifestyle, and we were partying together. And it took a little bit, but I started noticing that there was something a little off on this guy. Where I would go this way, he would go that way. So he took everything that I was kind of doing to an extreme, you might say, an evil extreme. So I kept noticing this more and more, and kind of kept in an arm's length, And then some things started happening around, and I was noticing he was selling stuff off. He sold his car. He stripped out his Mitsubishi and sold the guts of it and let it repoed back. He stripped out the inside of his rig and let the company take it back. And he sold off his other car for drugs because he was going to sell drugs and make more money and get it all back He ended up sitting in a freaking house for a week doing all the drugs. Yeah, dumbass. Never party on your own shit. Just saying. Anywho, that's past. That's history, people. That's history. So I started kind of distance myself from this guy, and then out of the blue one night, I mean, I'm just getting weird stories back about this guy and things going on around the area, and out of the blue, he asked me to come over, and I come over there, and we're outside talking, and he asks me to do some pretty evil shit. There are lines I will not cross at all. This was a pretty tough one. This guy, I mean, really some bad shit. And I just kind of froze for a second, and then I turned and looked at him, and I put my finger on his chest, and I said, "You son of a bitch. I've got a life. I've got kids that mean more to me than my own life. Don't ever bring shit like that to me. Ask me to do that kind of stuff again. Ever. Anything that jeopardizes me spending time with my kids was something that was a big no-no." Which is eventually why I got out of that lifestyle, by the way, just so you know. So I kind of distanced myself real big from him. And it wasn't a couple weeks after that, he kind of up and disappeared. And so much so that his crazy girlfriend showed up at the bar and started yelling at me and telling me, "Where is that son of a bitch? You know where he is. I know he does. He hangs out with you all the time." I'm like, whoa, back up. The bartenders had to kick her out of the bar. You know? And then over the next few weeks, some of the players in the underworld there, if you will, the lightweight underworld, I was no big mover or nothing like that. Jesus, not at all. Anything I did, statute of limitations is really taking care of that guy. But people started disappearing, getting arrested, and everything like that. And rumors started abound that Ox, one, either got into the wrong group, got in with the wrong guys, which he was in with some pretty big guys, and there's some validity to this one, and he got his ass taken out. You know, that's why he's dropped off the face of the earth. And then there's rumors that he was a narc, which is plausible too. And he tried to get everything he could on everybody going on because he came out of nowhere, found his way into the movers and the shakers, and then up and gone. And then people started disappearing too. So that was a good one. That's very valid point. And he very well may have been a narc, you know. But if his mama was anything like my mom, loving mom, my theory is that he got his ass into a sling, lost all of his money, and was going down a very bad white candy rabbit hole. You know what I mean? And his mama got a hold of him, snatched him by the back of his neck, and drug his ass back home and made him get his shit straight. Because from what I heard, she had a little bit of money and she had a little bit of pull, and she was kind of a big shot, and he was just trying to get away from her or whatever, trying to run his own life. And dumbass. Funny thing, I say the same thing about me for some of the stuff I did back then. But there's no real lesson here. Just doppelgangers exist, people. The doppelganger effect is real, and sometimes reality is right in the middle of both of those. And if you ever do come across your doppelganger, keep him at an arm's distance. One of two things are going to happen. You're going to realize really soon then you're the good one and they're the evil one. Or you're going to realize they're the good one. What does that make me? Anyway, love, peace, and chicken grease, y'all.